Welcome to Long Box Diving. Today, get this, I'm covering the X-Cutioner song. Growing up, Cable was a favorite hero of mine. Cable and the Flash. Those were the two people I read extensively. Um, and X-Cutioner's song is a big one for Cable. That's one of those that he's known for, right? Um, and I'm doing the first two of the arcs. So we have X-Men 294 and X Factor 84. I'm not a big X Factor reader. I'm not a big X Force reader. So bear with me if I make mistakes on them. I've done some research, but I'm not big into those series. So just bear with me, okay? We open up with Archangel picking up Sergeant Jones and taking her to a concert for Brotherhood, for Fellowship, rock concert. Imagine the '70s, but moved towards the '90s. That's what you're looking at. And something interesting from their conversation that I read and was kind of funny is that Sergeant Jones says, "You're white. I'm surprised by that. She fell in love with the mutant Archangel and not with Warren Kenneth Worthington III." They go to the concert, and so do we. We get to see Bishop and Rogue talking. Rogue does not like Bishop. Bishop just showed up from the future and is like, "I'm going to be giving orders because you guys screwed up the past, right? So we need to fix that." Rogue's like, "No, no." Bishop is concerned about the amount of people there, and they don't have all the X-Men on site. They don't have Cyclops or Jean Grey or Colossus or Iceman. None of that. But he is concerned about it. Rogues says, "Don't worry. It's not a big deal." The concert starts, and the lady begins to sing. We find two people sneaking up underground, ready to blow the whole stage up and get rid of Charles Xavier. Get rid of him. Blow him up. Make him a star. Cable shows up. Great Cable shows up and shoots them both. Dead. This does not seem like Cable. We haven't known him for long, but this does not seem like Cable. And two, he is dead set on killing Xavier himself. Dun 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 dun. Strange. We have a scene where Scott's sitting in a bar thinking about Psylocke, of all people. Jean Grey comes in and is like, "Yo, you thinking about Psylocke again? I can read your mind, boy." He's like, "No, I'm not. I would never think about Psylocke. Ever. Or Emma Frost. Or any others." I don't know who else Cyclops has dated. But Scott did try to lie to a telepath, so good on him. He really tried. It's a terrible idea. Don't lie. And he got away with it. At the same time, Bobby Drake and Peter Colossus are having a very awkward discussion about emotions and sensitive topics that, one, they're not close enough to talk about. But Bobby is a much more open person than Peter is. And Peter's like, "Yeah, no, thank you." Turn that back on. You're not supposed to see that. At the concert, Gambit and Storm have a really cool conversation. Storm's still not ready to date Gambit because she just broke up with Forge. But Gambit is Gambit, so he tries anyway. And he actually does make a little nice romantic scene, touching scene, blah blah blah. But yeah, Storm is still not ready to move on yet. Scott and Jean, who are in a bar, I'm not sure why, but I mean, I guess the X-Men get days off. The Avengers don't. And Caliban comes bursting through the roof. It's like, raw, you guys call me Caliban, but that's not my real name. I'm upset. You know who really loves me? Apocalypse loves me. The Horsemen of War and Famine are outside of the bar, right by the grocery store, and you know who spots them? Colossus and Iceman. They go to fight the Horsemen, and there's some cool scenes here of the fight. The Horsemen appear to be serving Apocalypse. That's what they do. The four Horsemen serve Apocalypse. But Apocalypse is supposed to be dead? Something else I should mention at this point. I've not read to the end of this arc yet. I'm reading it along with you. If you're reading it. It's been forever since I last read it. So who knows, maybe I'll be surprised again. Caliban then appears to be the Horseman of Death. Why would Apocalypse choose Caliban to be the Horseman of Death? Answer me that. Like and comment with your answer. There's a cool panel where the Horseman of Famine tries to suck life out of Colossus, but since Colossus is a being that, one, doesn't eat, two, doesn't drink, it doesn't affect him at all. And in fact reverses the effect back onto the Horseman of Famine, and it's very much the same action as in the Trinity War that I had the same exact feeling about, only this is one person who's weak to one person. So, not as cool, but still cool. Blah, 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 blah. Archangel sees Cable. I don't quite remember why Archangel's immediately mad at Cable. I don't quite remember. But Archangel sees Cable, gets mad. Cable's about to shoot Professor X, and then and Professor X takes a bullet and goes down. And this is in the middle of the crowd being mad at mutants because we hate mutants. Who needs brotherhood? Not us. Everything is really tense, and then Cable shoots Professor X, and then, yeah. It does not go good from there. Cable then immediately disappears and gets out of Dodge, because, of course, if you just shoot the X-Men, their boss, the most important mutant, essentially, you're not going to stay in town. You don't. You just don't. Of course, we do get a scene where they're watching the news, and maybe Professor X is going to make it. Maybe. Spoilers. This is not the issue with Professor X's tombstone. That's for sure. Yes. X-Factor begins to look for Cable, because X-Factor used to work with Cable. Cable started X-Factor, if I remember correctly. But yeah, X-Factor's like, we need to find Cable to find out what's going on, because all the other X-Men are going to be looking at us. All the other X-Men are going to be like, yo, Cable's your guy, dude. Why are you letting him go crazy? And then they're like, no, we never do that. See, if only the X-Men would talk to each other. They're all mutants. They all have the same kind of struggles. Just talk, man. Like, you don't have to be this tense. Fellowship for Brotherhood, and the X-Men don't even have it. That's hypocritical. we have several panels of a bunch of different various mutants on various X-Men teams waiting at the hospital for the announcement on Professor X. Is he going to live? Is he going to die? We don't know. If you have ever had to sit in a hospital waiting for the doctor to come back with the blood work, and it takes 2 hours, and then they let you know they need to do some more tests, you know exactly how this feels. Because it's like, we have to do more tests, but you're not giving me any answer. It's exactly how it feels right now. They're just waiting. They don't have an answer yet. If you missed Archangel, he's doing his emo thing. Apocalypse screwed him up, and Archangel hates Apocalypse. That's all you need to know. Strong Guy, who has a great name, Guido. Like, that is his first name. Writing names is hard. And Feral, again, great superhero name. Writing's hard. Accidentally find X-Force. X-Force? I might have that mixed up. I'm looking at my script now. I may have said the wrong thing before. Again, bear with me. I did some research, but when I wrote the script, I had to rewrite it because of this exact issue. So I might have said something wrong before. Forget it. Strong Guy and Feral find X-Force, and Feral reconnects with old pals. That's exactly what my script says. That's what I'm going with. I will correct myself with an editor's note later. Strong Guy, however, while Feral's just hanging out with old people she hung out with, Strong Guy's like, "Stop! You shall not pass!" Strong Guy immediately believes X-Force knows something about Cable. They don't. He doesn't bother talking. He doesn't bother asking. He just assumes. Brotherhood! And he immediately tries to arrest the entire team by himself. This bothers me. Like, Strong Guy may have some authority, but he does not get the right to arrest people for no reason. At all. He can ask if they'd like to go in for questioning, but he doesn't. There's a cool panel, Shatterstar kicking Strong Guy in the face. However cool it is, this is where I'm going to bring up my gripe about how everything is so dark in this comic. Half of the panels aren't colored. I get it's supposed to be night, but if you're in the hospital, you're not, like, why is everyone so dark? It's boring. Make it lively, make it colorful. Unless it's the Watchmen, then make it dark. Come on. Richter tries to make it vibrate Strong Guy, make an earthquake on Strong Guy. It doesn't work. It is, however, really funny to watch Strong Guy toss Richter. That's cool. Havoc, Polaris, and some other X-Factor members begin to show up on the scene to help in the fight. And Boom Boom counters Polaris' abilities with another explosion of force, essentially, stopping Polaris and Havoc. Madrox gets multiplied because of Boom Boom, because she tosses another force ball at Madrox. And Madrox is like, yo, force is what makes me kinetic energy is what makes me multiply. That's exactly my jam, bruh. Yeah, and so Madrox quickly overwhelms Boom Boom. Quicksilver and Shatterstar are having a fight. Quicksilver is just so fast. He is toying with Shatterstar. Like, this is a game for Quicksilver. Shatterstar's not fast enough. He's not skilled enough to beat someone that is this fast. And Quicksilver's just like, boop, 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 boop. Can't stop me. I'm the gingerbread man. X-Force has to retreat as more and more X-Factor members begin to show up. And so, like, as more and more X-Factor members show up who can counter X-Force abilities, X-Force has to leave. And then we're shown the X-Men. The X-Men. You have Wolverine, Psylocke, I want to say some other people, like Beast was there. Beast was there. Show up and they're like, we're gonna find out what the X-Force knows, kids. By force. We get a break from the fighting to visit Apocalypse. The three horsemen have delivered Scott and Jean to Apocalypse. And then the horsemen leave because Apocalypse does not want to share his space with the horsemen. But you know who Apocalypse really is? Mr. Sinister. Dun 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 dun. And so that's a twist, right? It's Mr. Sinister. Apocalypse is not alive. It's not, there hasn't been enough issues for that yet. But it is Mr. Sinister. So what could that entail? What does Mr. Sinister do? One. And two, he has Scott Summers and Jean Grey. I wonder what Mr. Sinister's plans with Jean Grey is. Surely it's not absorb her powers because of DNA splicing. That wouldn't be it. The last panel we get is Xavier in a tube. The doctor says he's recovering. We got him stabilized. But, and a big caveat here, he has the technovirus. Another big mutant. We know who has a technovirus from the future, Mr. Cable himself. You know why he has that metal arm? It's not because he lost it. It's a technovirus. And Cable has to use a good portion of his powers as a mutant to hold back the technovirus, which is why he uses a gun. And there's some cool comics where Cable's like, hey, I'm not going to hold it back no more. Let's go. That was just some cool comics. So. Will Xavier turn into a computer? Will X-Force see another day and their panels be brighter? Will we get an answer to these in the next comics? Probably not. Thank you for joining us in the long box. I'll see you next time.